ending we had. Sure, a lot of you were relying on Stafford and Puka, Drake London. Hopefully, they came through for you. Was not looking there great there. Not looking great at all there for 3 quarters, and then Puka and Stafford pulled out something. What did you need, Kevin? What did you need? Sounds like it didn't go well for you. Which Puka didn't have a great game. He got the touchdown. He had like 5 for 50 and a touchdown. Man, I needed 30 points from Stafford and Puka, and it didn't look like it was going to happen until that last touchdown. You were up 20. Puka versus Bijan. Wow. Did it work out for you? I don't know. What Bijan have? So basically Puka put you up what? About 35, 36 points. And did Bijan go nuts here? I don't know why my internet is like super slow right now. I'm like trying to pull up the box score and it's just for whatever reason. Maybe everyone's on there checking their fantasy numbers or something like that. But lost by 6. Ouch, man. You had to have felt really, really good. Up 20 and Puka versus Bijan. I mean, that is probably 8 times out of 10 you win. You win that matchup. About 8 times out of 10. Man, that's rough. That is rough, man. I mean, Bijan went nuclear, unfortunately. Bijan, if you were facing him, absolutely went off on the Rams, which is pretty unexpected, man. Pretty unexpected for Bijan to have over 200 total yards, 2 touchdowns. I don't think we expected that at all. Lost by 6. Yeah. If it makes you feel any better, I lost a championship because I decided to bench Drake May for Trevor Lawrence. So I lost to my brother, who will be here pretty soon, against a decent defense as well. Yeah, that was the crazy part, man. Like, this was a good defense. We didn't expect this game to go this way, right? To where the Rams were playing catch up and the Falcons could just run their offense how they want to run their offense. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's rough. It is rough. Fantasy can be extremely, extremely rough, unfortunately. That's just how it goes. But hopefully you had other leagues or won in other leagues or something, I'm hoping it came through and yeah, just kind of reflecting on I had one of our listener leagues came down to that Puka Stafford touchdown. He had the Puka and Stafford stack and ended up winning by a point. So that was pretty crazy to see in one of our listener league dynasty leagues. Not a whole lot of close matchups anywhere else, I don't think. Yeah, not a whole lot of close matchups there, unless you had Puka and Stafford and all of that. So, yeah, just tough, man. Just absolutely tough. So, but this is it. We're kind of wrapping up the season here. Unbelievably, the fantasy season is over. The NFL regular season still around. Obviously, we got one more week with some implications, games and playoffs spots still needing to be determined. And then we have about a month worth of playoffs, and then we have the long wait of the fantasy off season, which is longer than most other off seasons. It's about seven months long. So, but yeah, Kevin, that's rough, man. I feel for you there, because how confident were you, Kevin, going into that matchup, being up 20, and having Puka versus Bijan? I mean, you had to have felt 80-20, you were going to win that, right? I would imagine that you felt like that's kind of how I would have been approaching that. So that is rough. And well, I guess no, never mind. Because I was gonna say that holding call that brought back the Puka touchdown, but then obviously Puka caught a touchdown on that same drive, you know. So I mean, you couldn't even point to that. But there was a couple plays. I mean, the Puka had a big catch from Stafford in the first half that was called back from an illegal formation from an offensive lineman not being lined up properly. I mean, that right there is that was at least what 30 yards or so. That would have been a close match. And then who knows, on that drive, you could have caught a touchdown or something. I think that drive ended in a punt, if I remember correctly. So you never know, man. Fantasy is just absolutely strange like that. So and it's you know, it kind of just can work out that way. I was trying to remember if that drive ended in a punt or not. With that it was a big Puka play. I want to say it was in the second quarter. Yeah, so it was a 36-yard pass to Puka. So that would have been 4.5 points for you, assuming you play PPR there. Ooh, let me bring in my brother here. And just talking with Kevin, he lost a matchup by 6 points.
No.
Yeah, he was up 20 with Puka versus Bijan, and he lost by 6. And I was just looking at the because I know there was that long Puka catch. Yeah, 36-yard catch that ended in a illegal formation penalty because the offensive linemen weren't all on the line. That's 4.5 points, and then that drive ended in a punt. So that would have been down to the 2-yard line. So who knows what would have happened there, you know? Little things like that. I mean, I thought that big touchdown catch by Puka that was called back by a holding was going to end it for a lot of people, including myself, you know? So, but luckily he caught one on that same drive. Yeah, 2 TDs and by penalties.
I lost a matchup on the Puka touchdown by 2.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
One of Marty's leagues or
one of Marty's leagues? Yeah, against Marty actually too.
The championship?
Yep. And
that's rough.
That was one of those lineups that I didn't really recheck. Could have destroyed by putting in Luther Burden, but I didn't know if he was going to play at the time, and I think his swap was Troy Franklin. So by the time I knew Burden was going to be the dude, well, not the dude, but like before everyone got sick and everything like that.
Yeah, and Burden was questionable himself.
Yeah, exactly. Like, and so Troy Franklin, how fucking dare you?
Yeah. Yep.
So it goes.
So it goes. We had our other listener league, Dynasty League, that you're not in. Basically, the exact same situation I was in with Marty's league of needing 30 points from Puka and Stafford, and he won by a point because of that last Puka touchdown. He actually messaged like right before that touchdown to the other opponent, like "good game," you know, like basically saying I lost, and then that touchdown happened. So madness. Yeah, I mean, at least you didn't bench Drake May and lose a championship because of that. So there's always that.
Yeah. I mean, there it goes. There it is. Yeah. So I won. So I made it to the I made it to playoffs in 9, championship in 6, and I won 3. So 2 of them were done last night, essentially, or for all intents and purposes, unless Kyle Pitts did what he did a few weeks ago against Brandon in El Dorado to give me a chance. But it worked out pretty good.
Here's the Bijan show. 4 championships, 5 playoffs, 4 championships, 3 second places, and a first. And then, no, I think I made it in 6 actually. And then I got eliminated. Yeah, I made it in 6, not 6 championships, 6 playoffs, eliminated in the first round in 1. 4 championships, got 3rd place in another one. I don't even know if 3rd place pays out in that league, but yeah, 3 second places. Unfortunately, almost 4 second places, almost 4. So,
I lost the 3rd place matchup by a penalty. The one that took away that Colby Parkinson. Oh no, sorry, it was the. Actually, you know what? It wasn't a penalty. It was that almost catch. By Xavier Smith at the end. It's a best ball league. I didn't actually have to start him. So if he would have caught that, then I would have got 3rd in my payout back.
That's crazy. Xavier Smith, all coming down to him. Yeah. It's funny about the. I think I messaged this to you, but the whole Drake May, Trevor Lawrence decision is like every reason why I went with Lawrence actually kind of came true. It just, the only thing I didn't account for was Drake May throwing for 5 touchdowns in like 2.5 quarters, or accounting for 5 touchdowns in 2.5 quarters. Like I was worried about the game was going to be over by halftime, which it was. I mean, they benched May in the 3rd quarter. They would be able to run on them, which Travion and Stevenson ran very well on them. They just didn't run a whole lot. That the Colts were going to give the Jags a game, which they did. Like everything played out how I kind of, the process in which I went with Lawrence. And Lawrence didn't even have a bad game himself. It's just May went nuclear for 2.5 quarters, like. So I'm actually not super upset about it. It'd be a little bit different if I just kind of went with it because of what Lawrence had been doing the last couple of days. So
to circle back on that a little bit, are you sad that I dropped the grenade of Trevor Lawrence on the waiver wire a few weeks ago?
No, not necessarily. Like I said,
be sad.
No, I would have been more sad if I didn't that. I just kind of went with Lawrence without really believing in it, but I did believe in it, and it all came true. It just didn't work out, So
yeah,
I mean,
and that's all retrospect thing. The idea was to okay, well, I'm not going to start him. That game was a little fluky. He's going to have a bad game against Denver. Maybe someone will pick him up and start him last week,
Mm-hmm.
But it ended up working out for me. It was a long fuse grenade, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I drafted him, so if I would have just kept him, I may have made the same decision. I mean, if anyone tells you, hey, the Colts Jags game's going to be competitive and Drake May's going to be out by the 3rd quarter, you're taking Trevor Lawrence every day, so which is literally I don't know. I didn't predict he was going to be out by the 3rd quarter, but I definitely thought he could be benched, start of the fourth quarter.
Yeah, we didn't think he was going to be involved the way he was.
Yeah.
Well, Marv's the champ here in the comments.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
By saying season over, he made me think you didn't win. I don't know. I just thought I mean, you're just stating a fact. The season is over, but I was like, oh, you didn't win. Yeah, my biggest problem in that league was more in our home redraft league is Gibbs didn't come through. JSN had a ho-hum game. I don't know if Corum going out would have affected me too much because it kind of just all went to Kyron at that one point. So that didn't really affect me. So it was just
Yeah.
I needed those couple guys to just have like Gibbs to have a normal Gibbs day, and then maybe JSN to be catch a touchdown or something, right? Like little things here and there. But 40 points. How confident were you, Marv, going into that? I mean, Kevin here, I said, Kevin, if you had Puka up by 20 versus Bijan, I said I'd say 8 times out of 10, you probably win that matchup, right? Maybe 9 times out of 10, you win that matchup. I would say if I had Bijan and Puka and I needed 40, is that about 50-50? You're kind of like, 40 is a lot. I mean, I don't know what kind of scoring it is.
It is a lot, but it's attainable for sure.
Not very confident the projections on Sleeper are very high. Yeah.
Yeah. I do have that issue, not just with Sleeper, but I hate that, man. I hate like where I'm like, oh, I'm projected to win, but this guy has to score 25 and this guy has to score 19 or something. I'm just like, man, there's so many ways that can go wrong.
Well, I was down 30 in Marty's league, and it had me at a 99% chance of winning. I was like, that's just not no. Like I understand Puka in that league averages 30 by himself, but still, it's like you can't be 99% chance down 30. Like, I just don't. I don't see that.
The algorithm, man.
And then, of course, like after half a quarter, an interception. It's like, oh yeah, you're like a 60% chance to win. It's like, yeah, whatever. Fun year. Had 2 teams start 1-4, both made it in, no chips, but 2 7-7 teams won those leagues. Wow. Yeah, I mean, anything can happen, man. When you can make the playoffs, 1-4 to the playoffs is pretty nice, though. No championships.
Yeah, it's good. I mean, that's why we play, right?
Yeah, we talk about it all the time. Like, there's always a big debate on, how much skill is in fantasy. And, basically what we settle on is like your week to week matchups there's a lot of luck involved. There's skill involved too, but there's a lot of luck involved. Anything can happen week to week, but to just make it's much more skill to make the playoffs than it is to like win the championship, right? Like if you just make the playoffs, you kind of do what you need to do. And then you just kind of hope your guys play well. You hope Bijan Robinson has 200 total yards. Like,
hey, don't sell the man short. All right. It was like 230. Yeah, no, for sure. That like we talk about that all the time. Like it's like kind of like 70% skill or whatever, to make it to the playoffs, like 70-30. And then that completely flips in week 15. It really comes down to those single matchups, which is tough.
Yeah. And again, I'm thinking about Marv, you can tell me, Dakota down with fun. You can tell me like what you guys think of this. I'm going to pitch it to our leagues though. Instead of doing matchups in the playoffs, just take like the 2 highest scorers from each round to move on. So everything's basically still the same, except, the 4 teams in the first round that don't get a bye all kind of play against each other. And just whoever's the 2 highest scoring teams move on to the semis. Same thing in the semis. The 2 highest scoring teams of the 4 make it to the championship. Just to kind of, again, try to take a little bit of the luck out of it. There's still obviously a lot of luck involved, but it's less based on who you're playing on. You could technically lose your matchup but still move on. So we do that in our home leagues, and I think it works pretty well. What did Bijan exactly have? Because I'm curious about where he's going to land this year. Did he have 230?
So 195 and 34. So 1 shy, 229, 2 touchdowns, 5 catches.
Okay, so 229. So he is at 2,255 total scrimmage yards. That would put him.
Did you just write that down on a notepad?
I typed it in a calculator. I added 229 to 2026. That would right now he is Right now, he is tied for 21st all time in a single season, including tonight's game. So he's assuming he plays next week and just has like even just a normal game, he's probably going to enter the top 15. I mean, I think he'll definitely enter the top 15 if he has a good game. Like realistically, I mean, if he has like a game like tonight, he's basically in the top. He's like second or third all time. So in scrimmage yards. So most is Chris Johnson in 2009. He had 2,509 scrimmage yards, which is insane. Chris Johnson that year was a monster.
So looking back, I'm sure we'll like do a little bit of a recap on this, but I mean, Bijan's definitely a guy who returned, right? Like where you drafted him, like he was going, essentially like top 4, yeah. I mean, he was going top 4, like he was basically, RB 1, 2, or 3, essentially, right? Like, and then if you look at a lot of the other guys there, like, I mean, it's just a bunch of landmines, and you just never know. I mean, it's not like you don't want to like take any of these guys. I'm not saying he's the only one either, because Chase was up there, but like just like based on where guys finished, like McCaffrey was a huge return. But
I mean, how do you view guys like Gibbs who were like
I'd say
he was all season? Yeah, but he kind of killed you in your playoffs.
Yeah, but yeah, again, you can't predict that. Like he's definitely one of the few guys kind of going in that top 12 for ADP that actually returned. Some of it injury, Malik Neighbors anyways, like Justin Jefferson, not injury, but huge bust. Like Lamb, based on like where you took him, no bueno, and part of that was injury too. But I mean, is Bijan the 101 next year?
Well, actually, so a little programming note. So I do want to go live on Saturday morning and kind of focus on that a little bit of like, Maka first round, kind of reflect on the year a little bit, just to kind of gather a little bit more of notes and stuff like that. Bijan 101, yeah, I think you have to say Bijan's 101 though. I am going to be prioritizing these running backs that are just workhorses, over, let's just say whatever. I know it's not, they're not the same, but let's just say like Chase and Bijan are essentially the same. I'm gonna value the running back more, because it's just so hard to find those guys, it really is. So, and I feel like they're a little bit less dependent on their quarterback, I don't know, but they're dependent on their offensive line and stuff. Yeah, I don't know. Definitely Saturday though. That's the next time we're gonna go live. I do want to, look at 2026 first round. Our predictions for the first round. I mean, is Trey McBride a first round pick in drafts next year? He like I don't know what his number is, including this last week, but like he's far and away better than the next tight end. He was 3 points better than the next tight end heading into week 17. He had a good week 17 with like 10 catches. Like he was putting up Kelsey like numbers. Like what was Kelsey's peak? Was it like 21, I believe? Kelsey's peak year. I'm gonna see here.
I know he's definitely beating it by at least a couple of points.
Kelsey in 2022 had 18.6, and that's what McBride was averaging heading into week 17. I imagine he got over 18. He caught a touchdown and had 10 catches. So I think 2020 actually might have been Kelsey had 20.9 in 2020. He was a monster in 2020. So I don't think McBride's going to get there. But maybe.
It looks like 23.6 in PPR.
23.6.
Yeah, so 10 for 76 and a touchdown.
So I'm not writing. I am typing on a calculator. 23.6.
How big
Typing
is
on a
your
calculator.
fucking keyboard, man?
It's the
Oh.
normal.
I thought you were
Um,
typing it into the
over
calculator
here.
on your computer.
Oh, okay, yeah, that would make more sense why you're confused. So he'd be at. Wait, that's not right. He wouldn't have gone down. Did I
Well,
do
what was
something
his
wrong there?
average?
Oh, I put. Sorry. Okay. So he's at 302.4 if we include last week's game and 16 games. So he moved up 0.3. He's at 18.9 PPR points. So, um, sorry, I've had this comment up for a while. So you lost your home league semis last week with Puka getting 40 because Josh Allen and Lamar got me 6 combined. Yeah, those guys were rough. I would have won the championship this week because I was the highest scorer. Yeah, I think I had in a league. Yeah, I did. I had in a league that I got eliminated, or I won third place. I would have won. One of those things where you would have won if you made it. It's frustrating when that happens, but
I think in a league that I didn't even make the playoffs, the one that you won, Mike, in Marty's league.
Yeah,
you were the highest, you were the second highest scorer, and I was the highest like on this week, and I beat you by over 40.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah.
What about last week?
Yeah, well, we don't have to talk about that. I definitely didn't deserve to be in the playoffs or like to have made it or anything like that, but that's one of those things, right? Like it's like any given Sunday is kind of like built into fantasy football a little bit where like I wasn't going to make the playoffs like a couple of weeks out, like my team just couldn't quite get there, but they came through this week when I didn't really need them to. But actually that's not true because I got the 113 comp pick again. Nice. So I'm the best of the shit teams in that league twice in a row.
Yeah, I mean the 113 is a legit pick. Yeah, it makes ideally what I would want. I'd want 2-week matchups each week. Now, again, in our home leagues, we can do it because we have 10 teams in those. I think the only way to do 2 weeks, at least for both weeks or both rounds, would be only 4 teams making it, which I don't really want to do. I did think of like a potential another idea. And I don't know if it kind of makes sense in my head a little bit where like the championship is like, it's kind of 2 weeks. It's week 17 and 18, but you only take the highest score of one of those 2 weeks. So you're not really combining those 2 weeks. You're just taking whatever you scored higher in.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know if that's like a workaround to like having a 2-week championship, kind of, but also like you're playing into week 18, but also week 18 could just not matter in a way. I don't know. But then you get into the situation where like, oh, this guy like picked up, whatever random player that went off in week 18 and won for it. Like, I don't want to get into that either.
Yeah. Well, we'll talk about it off air. Let's celebrate with all these guys. We got a lot of won championships here.
Just finished 6th in the marathon thanks to Bijan. Moved up from 19 to 6 with big pay jumps. Nice. What is the marathon? Is that like?
It's got to be DraftKings or Underdog or something.
Nice. Yeah, I'm sure. I mean, 19th to 6 would pay out.
Yeah, I definitely did not do enough gambling this season. Like I even told you pretty early on, like a couple of weeks in, and like, oh yeah, like let's do prop bets and stuff. Like, and like you make one, I make one, and we'll have the listeners make one, and we'll just kind of parlay that and see what happens.
Yeah,
I don't know how legal that is, honestly, but I don't really give a shit.
Yeah, I do need to check underdog teams though, because I feel like I have no idea any of my teams. I don't even know how many I have, but I did feel like I took advantage of the McCaffrey value a lot in those. But we'll find out. Won my league finally thanks to Purdy and Luther Burden. Nice, yeah, Purdy, man. I was playing against him in the championship, and it was just like tackle this mother effer. Like, stop letting him dance around and do the Dougie and shit. Like, tackle this guy. Like, yeah, he went off.
Dougie.
I faced May and Purdy in that championship. Those guys put up like 90 points. I was like, holy shit. Thank God for Henry.
I
two
lost
teams are 50.
El Dorado with May in a super flex league.
Wow.
Fucking McCaffrey.
Yeah. And McCaffrey didn't even have like like, what did he have? 30 points? Like, he had a really good game.
30, yeah, 34 and a half in that. Yeah, I mean, 180 yards, just one touchdown.
True.
But still, yeah, I blocked wrong. It wouldn't have mattered. It would have been closer, though. But I blocked wrong in this league and in Dynasty. Trying to block both Superflex leagues, trying to block the guys. Like Brandon had JJ McCarthy. So I was like, all right, he's going to go for Brosmer first. But I'm also going to pick up Quinn Ewers. But I didn't have enough money to beat his bid for Quinn Ewers, which was actually his first bid. I should have flipped those. Even based on like what we were talking about, like I was just kind of looking at it as like, all right, it's Christmas week. He's not going to be paying that much attention. He's going to go for his backup, but it wouldn't have mattered. He still would have won. Congratulations, brother-in-law.
And we taught him everything he knows, so it's kind of like a win for us.
Yeah.
Scared because I was hoping. Yeah, London was a huge disappointment, man. Holy shit! Like that's bad. Played Hendo over Ramondre too. That's tough. I mean, they both played well, but Ramondre had the better one. He had more carries, but no TD. Yeah. For my Seahawks, no, I don't want Kenneth Walker. Okay, yeah, okay, okay. You're saying the right things here. You're saying for your Seahawks, you want him. For your fantasy team, no. I'm so excited about. Like, I'm gonna try and buy low on Kenneth Walker in all my dynasty leagues. Although he's not really ranked like according to Keep Trade Cut, he's kind of ranked appropriately. I think he was like RB21 or something.
Yeah, I was gonna say 24 or something.
And but man, I just think like if he can get his own gig there, man, like you're saying, I think he could be awesome. Dallas, go to Dallas. Go to the Chiefs. Charbonnet has another year.
No, I'm saying where's Charbonnet?
Cut?
Yeah. He's 26.
30s. Okay. Yeah, I mean, Charbonnet could be good as well. I just think Kenneth Walker is a very talented running back. So Puka or Bijan for number one. Yeah. I mean, Chase will be in there for sure.
McCaffrey's going to move right back up in that range.
Yeah, I mean, people are going to be worried about his touches, but I feel like with McCaffrey, it might not matter to. I mean, it's going to matter for like injury concern, but like he hasn't really. If you actually look at his rushing numbers, he hasn't really been that efficient this year. Surprisingly, like they just had a run. Their longest run was like in yesterday's game.
Yeah,
from McCaffrey, but before that, it was like 24 yards from like Purdy. It wasn't even McCaffrey. But surprisingly, McCaffrey's averaging under 4 yards a carry, which is a little bit shocking. But his receptions, man, are just insane. 96 this year.
300 carries still.
Yeah. It's going to be a concern, but I feel like obviously like there's going to be the injury concern, but like also part of the concern is like, are they going to be as efficient and stuff? And like it doesn't really matter for McCaffrey. Like he's kind of showing that this year. Because he's going to catch 100 passes,
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree. Puka, Bijan, Chase. Is there someone else we're missing? I feel like
Lamb's going to be the value pick. JSN's going to be the value pick.
Yeah, I feel like Gibbs could just have like, if he could put it all together for an entire season, like he could have like a Chris Johnson. 2,500 yard. Obviously, that's a crazy prediction, but like, what Bijan's doing this year, kind of production, I can see.
Yeah, I already honestly feel like I kind of do every year. It's like I kind of want to be after that first tier of guys, just to get an earlier pick in the second round and pick, 7 or 8 or 10 even, and you'll still get like a guy like JSN, Puka. St. Brown,
Jonathan Taylor.
Much better picking that. Yeah, Jonathan Taylor. Like he'll be early second probably.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
I don't know if
Even
should Taylor
Barkley.
be. I feel like Taylor should be the first round pick. Like he was awesome, and it wasn't really his fault that he became like not awesome. Like the
Well,
dude was like,
it's partially due to the schedule, right? Like, and it's not even that he wasn't even awesome, you know, like these last 4 weeks still playing like really good, just nowhere near like what he was doing, I guess.
is James Cook a first round pick? We'll have to do this for sure on Saturday.
Yeah.
But, is he in there? Like, I mean, it's RB6 this year, probably not, but he's close. I
I'm
mean,
actually surprised he's that low.
RB6.
Yeah.
I mean, he's literally behind the studs: McCaffrey, Gibbs, JT, Bijan, and Achane. Like, you know, those guys are
Yeah.
those guys are like
I just
clear
know
number
that
one
the-
picks. Are very.
I have him on so many teams. Like, I mean, he was like a lock for a touchdown every week. It seemed like, not quite,
Yeah.
but you know, I mean, 14. But obviously, a few games in there with multiple.
Yeah, if I'm looking through quickly, it looks like everyone ahead of him had like a huge game, like a 40-point game. Achane did, Bijan after this week will, but he actually hadn't up until this point. Well, will he be at 40? He's had a 35-point game. JT had a 50-point game. Gibbs had a 50-point game. McCaffrey's been pretty consistent. He had a 39-point game. So
Yeah,
I think that's just, Gibbs's best. Sorry, Cook's best looks like it's 33.6, which is awesome.
We just need him to catch the ball some more, man. Like, we talked about that in the off season. We talked about it during the season. You know, it's like that's what we thought he was going to be, like coming in, and it just hasn't materialized. So it's probably not going to necessarily, unless obviously, like that's a coaching thing for sure. And it's
Coaching
funny,
and
like,
Josh Allen, maybe.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah, I mean, like him taking off instead of dumping it off. Yeah, for sure.
It's if you're a starting running back, so what's James Cook percentage wise? He's playing 60% of the snaps. The fact that he's not even going to get to 40 catches, most likely, is not great. Like, that is the one thing that's keeping him from like those top 5, top 4, top 3. He makes up for it with the touchdowns. And I know we were talking last year, like, is he really going to get 18 touchdowns again? Well, he's at 14 with a game to go. I don't know how much the Bills are going to play next week, but he got 18 and 16. Last year he's got 14.
I'm gonna go out on a limb and say he's not gonna get 18 touchdowns this year.
No. But I mean, he's at 14. Like, when we say that, we and I know you know this, but when we say that, we don't say like he's going to get exactly 18. We're really like, is he going to get over 12?
Yeah, a shitload.
Burrow, Chase, Olave, Kyron, Henderson, Aaron Jones, and Goddard played Burrow over May, and Adams was injured. Still got the chip. Nice. It's good when you like, I fucked up and I made the wrong start-sit choice, but you still win. That's always a nice little thing there. Dakota, down with fun. We'll see you. Appreciate you. And you're on the clock in Zeus, so either Fernando Mendoza or Jeremiah Love or a trade back. So nice. You won in your dynasty league again. There you go. You're becoming a dynasty. One more and you become a dynasty. Had Achane, Cooks, Puka, Debo, Sutton, and Brissett.
Yeah, that'll do it.
Yeah, I forgot Debo had a big game. Brandon Cooks?
Yeah.
I think it was James Cook.
Yeah, I'm assuming so too. He put him up there by Achane, so.
But I mean, Brandon Cooks had a good game. He had like 100 yards.
He did. Imagine like he worked his way into your starting lineup.
Dude, please, AJ Brown, please go to the Patriots or the Bills. Like, oh my God, like, I think he'd be so good with either one of those guys. Like, Bills, I feel the same way about the Packers. Like, yeah, it seems cool. Like, oh yeah, we don't have a number one wide receiver. You need a number one wide receiver, man. You just need it. Like it
Yeah,
showed in
take that
that,
next step.
yeah, like the 2-point conversion play for the Bills to win. I know Shakir was open and stuff, and Allen missed him, but it's like, really, is like Shakir the guy you're going to be going to like for a game-winning play? Like it has to be someone else, either Allen or Cook. Really, is all they have. Avoided Achan
Um,
and Puka and rookie drafts over injury concerns. Got to stop doing that. Yeah, I mean sometimes it's warranted. Like Puka does get dinged up, but like, yeah, I'm not going to worry about Achan and size and injury because like we see big guys get injured. Like um, yeah, I think it's something that makes sense like in our heads, and that's why like I think a lot of fantasy people just bring that up. It's like, yeah, smaller guy in a physical game is going to get hurt, right? But like I don't really think it happens that way. It just don't. So Echan's awesome.
yeah. This Michelob's going right through me. I gotta run for a
Gotta
second.
go. Okay. 54,288 entries, and you got what did you say? 6 plays. Holy crap! That's a legit payout there, Greg. Nice job. Nice job. I have to check my underdog team. They didn't do a whole lot, and they were all drafted basically back in like May and June, and stuff like that. But holy crap, man, that's legit stuff. Had to go through the gauntlet in my league and won when I had guys like CD, Hendo, and London shit the bed. Yeah. Chase Brown has been a huge help. Forgot to mention him. The Chase Brown buy lows at the beginning of the year hit like crack now. Yeah. Yeah, Chase Brown, man. Tale of two halves for Chase Brown there. Um what man, he was like we were telling people you have to bench him at this point. Really, he just needed some stability at the quarterback position. And looking back at it, like he really wasn't as bad as I thought. Like Chase Brown, obviously, like from about week 8 onwards, he became awesome. Um, but just looking back at Chase Brown here, and like he wasn't as bad as I thought to begin the year. He wasn't very good, but like 15, 13.1, 8.5, 6, 10.1, 11.8, 8.9, 12. And then from week 8 onwards, he went off. Um, but I thought he was a little bit worse actually to begin the year. So he just needed some stability. How many Browning started? What 3 games, 4 games? It was basically like the Browning games that killed him. You Chase Brown. But yeah, he really turned things around there for sure. Refs won the game. I don't know about that. Did they? I don't know. Okay, are you muted? I think you might be muted.
I am muted.
What were you saying?
I was just saying about Chase Brown, like it was mostly through the passing game too. Like it was looking a little worrisome with P Ryan coming in, and I actually had to start him in a few leagues.
P Ryan?
Yeah, like just kind of like as a bye week replacement guy, like kind of towards the end, and it wasn't really working, obviously. But yeah, it just looked like he was going to be a little more involved, like not right after the bye, but weeks 13 through 16 were a little worrisome.
Yeah. I'm doing so Chase Brown, so Browning started 3 games, really played in like 4, but I'm just looking at his starts here. Weeks 3, 4, and 5. Chase Brown in those 3 weeks had 24.6 points, so not great. 24.6 points is what he had. So basically he And this is not including week 17, by the way. So basically, he averaged 16.1 points in non-Jake Browning games, which would be RB8 in points per game this year.
The
So
Bengals.
he just needs
The
stability.
Bengals, they should get Ken Walker and just have him at the same exact role.
No,
Just
Ken Walker needs he needs to go to the Cowboys with no Javante or the Chiefs with no Pacheco and stuff. Alexis, we got you. Oh, okay. I know Alexis. I was like, dude, I know him. We'll get you in Dynasty and fantasy football. He's a buddy here, so we're gonna get him. He's a big football fan, Packers fan, so we're gonna get him into some fantasy football here. I told him, so we'll get you in something. But yeah, you have your. By the way, your Buccaneers. I don't know if you heard this, but your Buccaneers could win next week and still not be in the playoffs. So because the Falcons,
the Falcons, yeah.
Well, if the Falcons win and the Bucks win, it's a 3-way tie, and then head to head goes out the window, and basically the tiebreaker favors the Panthers. So Panthers can still lose and make the playoffs.
Yeah, I don't really give a shit if the Bucks make the playoffs at this point. Honestly, like they're just gonna lose in the first round. I feel like they've just been playing like shit. Like if you can't beat Atlanta
Dolphins
and Miami, and Carolina and the Saints in the last 4 weeks, like what's the point? Like it's a little bit defeatist, but they're just not playing the way they need to be playoff caliber.
I was going to ask you, would you rather them make the playoffs and then, of course anything could happen, but more than likely get bounced in the first round, or lose and then like clean house, like Frosty says, and bring in like, I don't know about Todd Bowles. Like, I think he's a fine head coach. I don't think he's a Super Bowl coach. And offensively, he's a defensive guy. You bring in an offensive guy. And like, I don't know, because like Baker's and all that, I don't know if it's really on Baker. Like, I feel like his injury, his shoulder injury, like since then, he's kind of not been playing great. So I don't know if that's been bothering him. Like this year, like he threw 41 touchdowns last year. And he had 4 or 5 rushing. The guy had like 45 touchdowns total last year. This year he has like 25. He's probably somewhere in the middle, right? 30-ish, low 30s. He's probably not the 40. I mean, not many people are. Bring in an offensive-minded guy. You have some weapons here. So, but yeah, would you rather them just kind of miss the playoffs and kind of clean house with the coaching staff and get a legit?
No, I mean, you always want them to make the playoffs. Like, I just don't think they're not gonna get very far. If they do, just looking at some of these other teams, but I mean, look at what happened tonight. Like obviously, like you're never gonna win if you can't get in the playoffs. Like you're never gonna like actually take it all the way. So might as well give yourself a shot. Like your draft pick isn't gonna change much at this point. So
yeah,
it's kind of like, yeah, sure, but they're just not playing well for sure. And yeah, like ever since that Rams game, I mean, they just had like after their bye, it was kind of just a murderer's row, like with New England, Buffalo, and the Rams, plus Detroit a couple of weeks before that. Like it was just kind of like, yeah, tough schedule for sure. But again, losing these last 4 games against these teams they should be easily better than.
Yeah.
It's just kind of like, I mean, even throw Arizona in there back in week 13. I don't remember if they won that game or not. That might have been the last game they won. But I mean, if you're losing within your division to these teams that are kind of like struggling, then it's like, well, you're just as bad as they are. It's like, we got to be among the worst division, so it is what it is.
Yeah. It's kind of trying to figure out with like Baker. He had 3 games there where he didn't run the ball at all. I feel like he was like hurt before that or something. I don't know. But then he started to run the ball in the second half of the season. So yeah, he'll be interesting to talk about for sure.
I think he was kind of hurt going into that game against the Rams too.
Yeah. I know he like hurt his shoulder and then he threw like a Hail Mary pass at halftime.
Yeah,
And then
yeah,
like
it was right before the half. Yeah,
was that the Rams game that he did that? He
that
threw the
was the
Hail
Rams
Mary.
game. Yeah,
Yeah. So I don't know if he was hurt before that game or like was it the game before. I feel like he was hurt earlier too with something else, but I don't know. It is a little bit strange, man, how that team. I mean, the Cardinals. Do you know the? Do you remember a couple things? Do you remember? Do you remember that the Cardinals started off 0-2, or sorry, 2-0 this year, and they
this
went
year.
yeah, and they went 1-12 to finish the year. They started off 2-0. And then another thing, do you remember that the Raiders beat the Patriots in week
Yeah,
1?
yeah, yeah,
Like, holy crap. The worst team beat, the number 1 seed in the AFC potentially. Or I guess Broncos might be the number 1, but still, that was crazy. Joe, nice job. 1-6. You were up 80, and your opponent had Bijan and Stafford. Wow. I mean, you weren't celebrating yet, but you were pretty damn close to celebrating up 80
yeah.
with
Pretty happy.
just, and then that got close, only 1-6 and 1 play away from losing. Yeah, that's tough. I mean, it's you were probably on the edge of your seat there for the end of that game. So, but nice to hear, Joe. A lot of people winning. Love to hear it. By the way, Greg, out of 54, it was right when you left, almost over 54,000 entries, and you got 6th place. So that's like legit money there that
Yeah,
Greg hopefully won. So, pacing like a new dad. Yeah, that's I tend to have bad luck with the maybe again it's just maybe I just remember the one that sticks out a lot is when Lamar needed to give me like 10 points in like a Monday night game playing you. There was like a good 4 or 5 years there where I just couldn't beat you in our matchups, head-to-head matchups. And I remember it was like I think one of the last ones was like, yeah, okay, Lamar needs like 10 points in Monday Night Football, and he got like 8 or something. That was during the COVID year, I think.
yeah.
So, but
Sad those days are gone.
yeah, I mean, you're back now. You won. You're the first to win. First to win in both leagues. So, almost didn't happen, but that's how it goes. So yeah, playoff picture. I mean, we don't have much. There's only 2 teams, 2 playoff spots open. They're both divisions. So Ravens Steelers will play each other, and then the Bucks and Panthers. And again, that game might not even matter if we won't know at the time because they play Saturday and Falcons will play Sunday, but it might not matter, but we'll see. Top of the draft, Raiders 2-14. Now the Raiders do play the Chiefs, and we know what's going on with the Chiefs there. So that's going to be interesting. Like, do the Raiders screw it up? Because if they win, I think they'll drop to. If they win and the Giants lose, I think the Giants will jump in front of them again. So, yeah,
Giants got Cowboys.
Yeah. So, but right now your top picks are Vegas, the Giants, the Jets. Jets have an outside chance at the number 1 pick, by the way. Titans, Cardinals, the Browns. You have the Commanders, Saints, Chiefs, and then Bengals round out your top 10 here. So it should be fun here. Did someone have a baby?
No.
No.
He said he was pacing like a new dad.
Okay.
Like meaning like he was like nervous.
Yeah.
So he got congratulated for his new baby trophy.
Yep. But yeah, I think we're gonna take off. It's been a really fun season. I know most people that were with us all year aren't with us right now, but we do appreciate everyone each and every time we go live. You know, it's always like in the back of my head is like, what if just no one shows up and we have nothing to talk about? But you guys have been here all year, providing us with things to talk about. So it's been fun. It's been a weird season. You know, and now you kind of get to enjoy football without the fantasy part of it, which is always a little nice, right? To just watch football and not really think about fantasy.
Yeah, that is the nice thing. And honestly, like once the games are actually starting to play, I know I mentioned this a few weeks ago, where it's like, I have enough teams to where I'm either playing against a guy or I have the guy or whatever. So
Yep.
I just kind of like let it play out and check it after the morning games, or at least after halftime, or at the earliest after halftime of the morning games. But it's always nice getting those little notifications like, oh, this guy, big play, touchdown, whatever. But
yeah. But so basically, like I said, we're gonna go live Saturday. And just kind of I'll prepare some things. We'll talk about the year that was. We'll talk a little bit about week 18, and maybe there's some of you out there that play in week 18. And we'll answer your questions obviously, and look ahead to 2026 and kind of maybe early first round mock, first round mock for 2026, and see
start telling us who some of these rookies are that you like.
Yeah. I don't know if any of them. It's going to be interesting to see how, like, I feel like we're swinging back towards, like, we should maybe be a little bit hesitant on rookies. We were kind of like, oh yeah, all in on rookies there because of guys like Puka and Jamar Chase and Jefferson, and now it's kind of like, oh yeah, these guys are rookies and stuff like that. But
after Genty, sorry, I know we're trying to like sign off, but like, so after Genty obviously getting like way pushed up, just like Bijan did when he was a rookie, who was the next rookie? Well, I was going to say, who was the next rookie to go in ADP this year? Would it have been Tetaroa?
Him or Amarion Hampton? I know people are really high on Amarion.
Yeah, that's a good point. And he could have had a monster season, obviously. Just injury, man.
Let's see here. PPR ADP. Chase, Bijan, Barkley, Gibbs, Lamb, Jefferson, CMC, Neighbors, Amon-Ra, Henry. So Genty was a first round pick.
Yeah. Looking for I got Travion at the end of the fourth round.
So yeah, Travion got pushed up a lot.
Oh, Hampton's right here in the mid third.
Yep. I see Hampton and then Travion. This is just I don't know what they're getting here or taking it from. And then probably Tetaroa. I know RJ Harvey was getting pushed up there too. This rookie class that we were very excited about was not very good for redraft this year.
Yeah, as rookies, obviously.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it just wasn't. So, there was Tyler Warren was he like the best rookie? I don't know, like in terms of like where you got him and stuff.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Maybe factoring in ADP. We'll have to figure out a calculation for it.
Yeah. Did it without Ridley and Cup? If you won, Mr. Least, congrats. But I'm not sure why you mentioned Ridley and Cup.
Just because you drafted them, I'm sure.
Yeah. I was excited about both those guys this year, to be honest.
I even traded for Cup from you in one of our dynasty leagues for a second.
I don't know if excited about Ridley is the right word. Hang on.
Well, you definitely thought he was going to return value, like based on where he was going.
I was kind of
nothing going on.
Yeah, I was kind of like buy low on him in Dynasty because I don't see him finishing worse than where he was, which I'm sure he did. Well, he obviously did. And like, what if Cam Ward's good? Like, it was like this year's Terry McLaurin kind of.
Actually,
that didn't work.
Actually, looking at like ADP, what is this? This half PPR. I don't even see what it says, but I mean, Ridley was going in the 6th round, which is kind of crazy. Hey, why I lose him right now? No, sorry. Yeah, in the 6th round, and the guy's going right around him. It's like Pickens and Rashee Rice. Obviously, suspension with Rice pushed him down quite a bit. And then right around Jerry Jeudy and Travis Hunter. So that kind of worked out. But ahead of Waddle and Olave, which is kind of interesting.
Yeah, I remember being worried about a lot. Well, not necessarily worried about Olave, but like talking about the Saints and just like we have 2 major, guys here, and like we thought Saints were going to be the worst. The Saints were going to be the worst team in the NFL, and now they're like tied with the Chiefs in record. Like what the hell? Yeah, I will say this about Ridley: he wasn't like he had 1,000 yards with Jacksonville and stuff like that the previous year.
If the Saints started Shuck from the beginning, they'd probably win the division.
We're going to be talking a lot about Shuck in that's one of our hits. I was just saying, like, quarterbacks are so hard to predict and scout, and that's why the NFL gets them wrong so much. But like, I remember everyone just being like, Shuck sucks. I got him in the 3rd round in some leagues, in dynasty rookie drafts, like super flex.
I remember Mr. Lee's like his team now. Like, click on the guys that he drafted. It's like, holy shit, you drafted all those guys and won it still. See, there's waiver wire kung fu right there. For sure.
And we were like, how did you do this? And he was like, trades. I was like, yeah, but who'd you trade? Like,
yeah,
how did you trade? And yeah, maybe it was dynasty. I don't know. But it was just like trades. But like, none of these guys had value. Like, but you didn't mention, I mean, none of these guys were top 4 rounds, right? Maybe Mixon.
No, Mixon got pushed down because the injury. It was probably Kamara first, followed by either Monty or Najee.
Redraft.
Let's see.
I like how he's just keeping it. Like, Mixon was 115. I don't know when this takes it. It says 6 sources. I don't know when it sourced it. 115. That doesn't seem right though. I guess it.
Yeah, 10th round. Yeah, I mean that's where we saw him go. Like, I mean, especially if you drafted the week before NFL started, like it was kind of like he was very much up in the air.
Yeah.
It's got to be Kamara was first, right? Yeah, Kamara kind of beginning of the 4th round. I'm just looking at the Fantasy Pros, like ADP. It says only 2 sources. But
he must have drafted McCaffrey and JT and whoever was the stud in the 3rd round.
McBride.
Trey McBride.
Or JSN.
JSN, yeah. Yep.
Going in the 3rd or 4th round.
It's going to be fun to look at. I have some ideas of what I want to talk about on Saturday. One of them is offensive coordinators leaving their quarterbacks. The 2 that come to mind are Jared Goff and Baker losing their offensive coordinators. And both those guys went on and look what the Bears are doing. Look what the Jags are doing.
Yeah.
So going to look up that a little bit. I know I did make something on that before, but I want to go over that. So, but yeah, the schedule during the offseason, if you guys don't play Dynasty and you want to get into Dynasty, join our Discord. We're going to try and start up another 1 or 2 listener league, dynasty leagues. So if you've never played before, you're more than welcome, and we'll kind of guide you through it a little bit. So join our Discord. We're going to be live throughout the off season. Try to stick to about 3 days a week. We'll work out the exact days, but I think roughly right now I'm thinking Thursday night, Saturday morning, Sunday evening. With the occasional maybe go live another day or closer to the NFL draft. There's gonna be a lot of rookie stuff coming out for Dynasty, and I do think there's a benefit. I do think fantasy players that listen all year play better on average, because one of the reasons is like you kind of go with the ebbs and flows of the off season, and it's like, oh yeah, we were excited about this guy, but then like we stopped being excited about him for some reason, but like there was a reason why we were excited about him at some point, and I don't know. I just think it definitely helps. It adds 3% or whatever to an already kind of shaky lucky type of game. So Stories, another winner here, won the chip thanks to Henry and May. Life is good. Yeah, Henry and May brought it home for you, for a lot of people, man. So congrats there. But yeah, join us Saturday. It'd be good to talk and just kind of reflect on the season a little bit. That was. I also felt like this year, and I have no idea, but it also felt like this year that there was a lot of like guys that carried us in weeks 1 through 6 just like failed us after that. Weeks, I don't know exactly what number to win, but the first half of the season versus second half, it feels like that happens a lot, but it feels like it was kind of even more extreme. Like Ibuka is one that comes straight to mind. I'm sure there are others that I'm missing here, but
Pittman,
sure. Drafted Purdy, JT, CeeDee Lamb, Garrett Wilson, Hampton, Olave, Kittle, Devontae Smith, and Dunze. But Dunze is another one, by the way. And Rashid Shaheed. Yeah, I mean, did you win, Christian? You're just telling us who you drafted, or did you just draft this team?
This is for next year.
Would you trade a third for Tyreek?
Yeah,
I think I would.
Yes.
I say I think I would. I would.
Yeah, definitely a third, not a second.
Yeah.
Unless
I'm fine with
12.
Yeah, I'm fine with
one. Sorry.
taking the shot on him. No, you're fine. He'll be 32 this year, but he's obviously speed-wise still has it. So hopefully he gets on, another team here. I think he's still under contract with Miami. So
he's asking if it's 2/3 now, not including next year's. Yeah, I would.
Yeah, it's probably where I stop though.
Yeah, it kind of depends on the makeup of your team. Also, if you're going into rebuild mode, we'll talk a lot about this in the off season. But like if you just won your championship and your team's like relatively young, and like you weren't counting on Devontae Adams, and stuff like that, I would.
Yeah, especially if you play deeper leagues as well. If you play in shallower leagues, that's where it starts getting a little bit iffy. But also third round picks in shallower leagues generally don't do anything anyway. So I will say this. I worked the Browns Steelers game, and there was a pass by Rodgers where to me it was clearly a forward pass, and they recorded it. The NFL recorded it as a backwards pass, which is a run, so no catch, and it was -3 yards. The rush, it was to Connor Hayward, so no one started Connor Hayward. But if you started Rodgers, he didn't get those -3 passing yards because it was a rush. But if they record that as a pass, -3 yards, I don't think that doesn't equate to 0.4, right? So. There was a couple of those in that game where I was like, that looks like a forward pass to me. So do be on the lookout. Like you never know, because that's literally a catch. Like a forward pass that they recorded on Sunday turns into a backward pass. And Sometimes they get a little iffy with those. So I don't do payouts until the end of the week at the earliest, just for that reason. So
Oh, come on.
maybe Stafford gets minus 20 points if they felt like it.
Here's the hoping.
Yeah. What's the starting rosters, Bando? You just lost the chip. Sorry about that.
Yeah, no, he's talking about the Tyreek Hill trade.
Yeah.
So, because we were asking if he's competitive or not, like, I mean, that's pretty much good enough. I'd still kind of like to know, how deep, but also like the makeup of your team. Join us on Saturday and give us like your actual starting lineup to see. But I mean, I think I'm doing it regardless.
Yeah, most likely. The Lions defense were at 9 points after the game and they went to 10 points in a couple hours later. Could they take it back? They could. Is that one of your starters? I don't know what would have caused. Is it a sack? It must have been a sack then. Usually if they change it from like I don't, they could go back for sure. Those things matter though. Like there's a lot of those 0-yard sacks and stuff like that. Like so. Could they change it? Sure. Like they basically go until Wednesday of the week, Wednesday or Thursday. So, answer Burrito Masters real quick.
I mean, you can just come here to the podcast, Burrito Masters. We won't judge you. We'll tell you about some of the dumbass trades we've made. And then we can rejoice in the good ones.
I traded the 101, which turned into Ashton Genty, which eventually I traded for, and Xavier Worthy, I think, or was it Jameson? One of those two for Anthony Richardson. So there you go. And this was before the last season. So obviously I didn't know it was the 101 at that point, and I still believed in Richardson, but. I traded Chuba for a third. I traded Adams and Hill a couple years ago for Garrett Wilson.
I mean, definitely the one that still like makes me sad is trading away Achane after his after his rookie year. So that would have been the 2024 draft. And I traded Achane just to move up from the second to the first round so I could get JJ McCarthy. The Superflex League. So that could still work out kind of given like the makeup of my team. But it's like, man, how much more valuable was Achane than just to move up like 14 spots?
Yeah. Yep. If you stick to the process is going to hit 7 times out of 10, 6.5 times out of 10, whatever. You gotta take the losses too, though. But it's just more fun to make trades, and I'd rather lose 30-40% of my trades and make a lot of trades than just not make trades at all, I guess. So, Dart, CMC, Cook, Chase Brown, Puka, Garrett Wilson, T. Higgins. Kittle and Laporta.
Yeah, so it's kind of a mix of old and young. So I would trade 2/3 to add Tyreek to this roster, and just see what happens.
I tried as well, Bubba, and no one wanted him. And one of the guys I tried to trade him to, would it have helped him when he lost by 31? I'm not sure who he would have replaced him with, maybe Waller or Franklin. Both those guys barely scored anything, so I think it would have helped him. So people are hesitant trading for these young guys or older guys, but I think Henry still has another year in his. I mean, the guy, I just talked about it yesterday. The guy is like, this is a top 5 season for Henry. You know, he's going to have over 1,600 total yards, and he could have the most touchdowns in a single season this year in his career. So
Yeah.
Um,
I could have made a trade to win Poseidon.
what?
I guess Blackfeet Dan probably doesn't mind, but I was trying to get Hertz and Chase Brown from him,
Hmm.
and that would have put me over because I would have put Hertz in over Rogers. It would have just barely been enough. Actually, you know what? Now that I'm looking at it, I don't know. I'd actually have to do a little bit of math. So I would have started Brown over Cup. I might have just lost still. Let's see. What did Chase Brown do?
He had a good game.
Yeah, I know. No, it wouldn't have been enough. I thought he had over 30. He had just under 30 there because Hertz didn't have a good enough game. So it would have been even sadder because it would have been selling the future a little bit.
Yeah.
12 points. Now I'm like really curious.
Yeah, I think
it would have been. I would have beat him by like less than a point. I would have beat Brando by less than a point if I had made that trade. Yeah, would have been too nervous.
Yeah, I mean, the no trade deadline, I think it was fun. I thought maybe the championship team to push in a little bit more. I think Brando did a decent amount. He moved to a lot of pieces and stuff. But yeah, man, it's like, man, the championship's there. You win it. You're paid for the next 5-6 years. Who cares if you give up the future a little bit? So, by the way, UOA. I always want to say U of A. He's in our the one dynasty league you're not in. So, but yeah, we're gonna take off and but could you add maybe a player in picks? Yeah, I could definitely do that. I'm probably gonna put those out like every month, like buy targets, sell targets, and it's always tough to say like trade this for this and stuff, but I can give some rough estimates and stuff like that. Dan is here, by the way. Dominated Poseidon from start to finish, yeah. And yeah, he was kind of the clear best team all year. So it's always good to see that team win. It was pretty close. Yeah, it was very close for him last week. He beat Brandon. They both scored over 200 points. So that was a really good matchup. But we will be talking more. We'll see you guys Saturday. Appreciate you all. Have a good new year. And yeah, we'll see you Saturday. What is that? The third of 2026. So congrats on all the winners. See you.